these certain things that you have to have. This could be in an email or a video or something, but I want you guys just to get very, very good at kind of what you need in this scenario. Number one, the first thing you need with any type of video or movie or anything, specifically in our sales, you need a hook.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
What's a hook? Was it? Something that grabs your attention. That would be something like in what? Email, text message, phone call, whatever it is. And specifically these are follow-up calls. Obviously, I have a script for our first piece, but this is important for us to understand the hook. And I got a great hook we'll use in a minute, but I want you guys to understand that piece of it, right? I'm building their world of characters, conflict. Second piece. I'm going to build these 4 stories. 4 stories. All right. First one I'm going to build is my client story. Client story. I'll talk about this in a minute, what this is. But we need to have this in all of our follow-ups, all of our stuff. I want to build out some videos for us to this in that scenario. Right? There's 2 types here. There's quick wins. And big wins. What do you think the difference is there? Quick wins and big wins.
Like a quick win could be like, are you getting the updates?
Saving $30,000.
Yep, that's a good example. So a good quick win would be, hey, we had somebody's house who was with another agent, didn't sell it. We listed it, got 5 offers in 2 days, and sold it $50,000 above asking price. Whatever. That's a quick win. A big win is a client, right? She had a home that she got a buyout investor made her offer that was very, very low, that he wanted to buy her property. When her contract, she had cancer, was going to die. All of a sudden, it came to the closing date, and he wanted to drop the price by $100,000. Or he wasn't closing, knowing that she was up against the wall and that she had cancer. Thankfully, she didn't sell that and didn't drop the price and was referred to us by somebody else. We came in, did our system and our process, got her $150,000 more than what he was offering as the last number. See a difference there in those 2? I want to have 3 of each I can tell my clients. I need 3 quick wins, 3 big wins. My top 3. That I can do what? Roll off the top of my tongue anytime. Why? Because they want to feel connection to people who have stories just like them, and they're also judging you in that scenario. The goal of what this part is doing here is 2 things. Number 1, it's trusting. And it's show, not tell. Most of these studies for any type of video or any type of infomercial, what's the most powerful part of infomercial? Testimonials. That's why I'm so big on it. Make sure we're getting these, and we have these because you want to be able to have that where the best thing you have somebody say is say it for you. 100 words from them is more than 10,000 words from you more valuable. Very, very important piece here. Okay? And we'll come back to this and kind of what that means, but those are the big important parts. Second piece of this is going to be your story. In some way. Mine's going to be, look, I was on my own since I was 17. Right? And you kind of go through this whole story of kind of who it is because it brings connection. But here's a great point. Your story really matters in terms of who you're going up against and who you're selling. So if I'm selling somebody that's a first-time home buyer who came from nothing and is trying to buy their first house, and I start telling them that story about how I came from nothing and I had this problem, I struggled, and I ate, at Walmart from $30 a week, and I've struggled so much in life, right? They're going to appreciate that, understand that. But if I talk to an affluent buyer who's buying something for $3 million, and I start telling them how my life was off and all these things, what happens? They think, hey, I don't trust this dude with my groceries. Much less helping them buy a multi-million-dollar house in that scenario. Now, I want to tailor my story a little bit based on who the audience is. It's going to be very similar, but just be aware of that piece there. Now, I don't mind going my story there if it's like an entrepreneur or certain things, but you want to be aware of that piece. Many of y'all can be, hey, look, I was in a different industry outside of real estate. I got into real estate now. I love it. I love what I do. I love serving people. I have fulfillment in that. We're one of the top teams in the country. Does that make sense? So it goes bad to good in some way. I was in the timeshare industry, realized it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, right? Moved into real estate, whatever it is. You want to have something. Does that make sense, you guys? Very important you're getting good at telling your story. Why? Because you're one of the main characters in this world we're building, so you have to be able to explain what?
Story.
Think about how many times we got to the end of the story. We've been working with buyers for months and months and months and months, and guess what? They don't know anything about you, but you expect them to be loyal to you. Just think about that. You've called them for 2 months now, and you can't figure out why they went with somebody else. Probably because they don't know anything about you, and they don't really care about you because you're just the dude or the girl on the other end asking if I got some emails or not. Powerful thing to think about here. Where can I layer in my story as the character to set up their world so that they find that attractive character, someone that they want to be a part of, move along with? Very important. Third one here is industry story. What do you think that means? This is the most powerful one here. This is what we do. We're very good at this one here. Industry story. What do you think that is? I'm talking about the state of the industry, which is that most realtors are terrible. They sell 3 houses in 6 months. They're not competent to even drive to work hardly, much less sell you a house. Right? Very important. The second way of that you want to look is the old way versus the new way. We're very good at this, but we don't talk about it enough. There's 2 main things I'm looking for here, the competency part and the old school versus new school, right? We talk about this on the listing side, an 8-track tape versus an iPad 2. I love to hammer old school agents. I love to talk about how they made fun of me in my old office, called me Internet Kid. Because guess what it does? It creates a transition point and it separates me from them, because here's the deal. Most people hate realtors. They hate people in the industry. They've had bad experiences. And so what this does here, it allows you to let them off the hook and say, you know what? It wasn't your fault. It wasn't necessarily even the agent's fault. The problem's not with the agents, with the entire industry. The problem with industry is it operates like an old school 8-track tape. You have one agent trying to juggle everything. Here we have a proven system that's a new school way. We're like the iPad Pro of real estate. We have a team model and all these things. Now all of a sudden you're showing them what? Here's the new way of doing things. Here's a promised land of how we can make it a lot better for you based on that. This is a story we must get much better at telling. I'm building an entire world here, right? You guys see what I'm doing here? I'm building an entire world of what? These stories and these realities that they're following along with, and what are they seeing now? That's why the third block of our thing is built for that same exact scenario. That's what block 3 of the presentation does on the buy side. Average agent sells 4 homes a year, right? Here it is in that scenario. But we got to get much better at telling the industry story, excuse me, specifically the state of things and the old way versus the new way. The fourth story, what do you think the fourth story is?
Their story?
The product. Which is, what do you think the product is? The product is the new way. Which is exactly what you have in terms of the chart that's in front of you. Here's how things are, and here's what we did. We created this new thing called the XYZ. That's a new school. It's the iPad Pro of real estate. And you guys before just had the unlucky part of being part of an industry where 95% of people, and actually in this case, 98% of people operate like an old school 8-track tape and sell 3 homes in 6 months, or in our marketplace, less than 4 homes a year. And just kind of go over it, right? And our whole thing is that real estate's broken, we're fixing it. Right? We talk about the industry, the old way, how it works, the old school model versus the new school model. And ultimately that the old way is how things used to be, and they were the ones that were working against you. That's a key part because it's let them off the hook. And the last thing is, thankfully, we found a new way, which obviously we did. This allows us to put into words what we've been doing for the past, 10 years. You guys with me on this? I'm going to give you the last framework you can do. This is pretty cool. An overall thing. This kind of brings together. I don't want to overdo it, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, are you a blank struggling with blank? Yeah, and one of them would be, hey, are you a home seller struggling with how to find the right agent? Because if they come through my funnel or some way and they submitted a lead, guess what they're probably looking to do? Size you up. Are you a home buyer struggling to find the right agent at Myrtle Beach to help you out? Are you a home buyer struggling to find the right home for you in this crazy market? This can be your subject in your emails. This can be your subject in a video. Be subject for your Facebook or social media. It's a very, very easy framework that's super important. And what does this do? Any home seller is going to be, oh, what's this person got to say here? And I got to speak very, very deep to their pain. Most home sellers are you a home seller struggling with what to do and how to sell your house? Some want an agent, some don't want an agent, some want to sell it themselves. Are you a home seller that wants to know how much a home's worth in today's crazy market? Whatever it is. Very, very important. You guys with me on this? Second thing. We have a 4-line statement. Let me read it. The statement is, I help blank achieve blank without blank by blank. So, this is really interchangeable however I want to use it, understand it in any way. Super important to understand. Right? So, what's first one going to be? Was it? Yep, the help. So what would that be? All right. What's the next piece you think? Yep. What they really want. What they really want. Super important. Without what? Yeah, that's what I thought about too. This is the pain or what they don't want. Yep, struggle. Without being ripped off. Without being misled. That's why it's important to know what? My top 3. What are a lot of people's fears for agents? Number 1, they don't trust them. They hate the hassle of being hassled by people. Right? And they hate the struggle of trying to find a home in today's current market, whatever it may be. With me on this? And then buy is what? Yes, that's our system. With a proven, repeatable system we have called XYZ. I help home sellers achieve, and for home sellers, I can't figure out the right wordage. I'll talk about get. Buyers, I help home buyers achieve home ownership at the best possible price without hassle or being misled by having a proven, repeatable system called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. By having a 5-step system that's proven repeatable, that gets you access to the best properties before anyone else and the best negotiation that gets you to the closing table. Last part's the product. So it's important to run through this, right? I help home sellers achieve the highest possible price and get their home sold without any hassle or worry of picking the wrong agent by having a proven repeatable system called the Guaranteed Sold System. I help home sellers get their home sold without any risk by guaranteeing their home to sell. Without any worry by guaranteeing their home to sell with our Guaranteed Sold System. Right? However you want to word it, you can just switch those around. Super powerful in that piece. You guys with me on that? Very, very important piece in that piece there, in that scenario. Kind of what that is. So we go through all those pieces. I forgot one more thing on this other one. The third piece here of this top part is a call to action. Call to action can be book an appointment or interview. Right? To be part of our system, whatever it is. You guys with me on this? And then what do? You talk about that. In that process, you're going to talk about what? The third part here, number 3, what do you think number 3 is?
That'd be our story.
Yes. Number 3 is going to be the proof. And so you guys can label this in your follow-up too with your sellers or your buyers in your emails. Right? Are you blank? Here's a part, and then what would you have underneath that? Yes, here's a screenshot of my review. Here's a testimony from my client. And you kind of word the same thing. Right? Like my client. Blank. Who. Oops, that's who. Blank. And then what do you have underneath there? Like my client blank, who did blank, and you have 3 of those examples, both short and big. Why is that? Do you see how this is layering up that way? Because they want to see proof first in that scenario.